Hello Libra, welcome to your reading. You're having difficulty with your public life right now. We have the Queen of Cups upright, the Queen of Wands inverted, and our new moon card, since we're working with the Pagan Underworlds deck today. Normally when I think of the Queen of Wands, I'm thinking of bringing my boldest and my brashest self, things that I'm probably embarrassed to let other people know that I really want to do and that I do think are important, and that I know probably no one other than me really cares about seeing, you know. And so we love it when she comes into our life and is like, no, we're ready for this. But with seeing her inverted this way beside the Queen of Cups, I feel like a lot of those things that used to bring us that feeling of look at me, look at all that I've accomplished, look at all that I've done, look at all that I am, and all that I've stood up against myself, expectations, convention to be. It's sort of becoming, it's kind of grown in on itself and is becoming, again, perhaps a skin that's more constrictive than constructive, and we're looking inwards again and saying, and I think there's some sadness and some confusion here of saying, but I thought this was what I wanted. I thought this was a reflection of my truest self. Why is this now feeling like a straitjacket? Why, when people look at me and say, look at all that you have and all that you've accomplished, does it not only not resonate with me, but make me sad and grieve for some other self? And I think the reason this is confusing is because we've been so busy living that life that we've neglected to continue to look in and check in with ourselves regularly and say, you know, that might have been me a year ago or 20 years ago. That was my dream then. And I'm not seeing that there's anything that actually particularly needs clearing here. I don't think you've wandered off the path at all, but there is something, again, with this moon. See, there's this sliver of light, this little sliver of light that's coming here. There's something that you haven't seen, but that now that tide is coming in, and it's going to feel disorienting, and I really don't want you to feel disappointed in yourself. Like, I feel like, oh, like, do I have to start all over again, or have I failed? Have I failed to have seen this before I could have seen it? No, this is very timely. There was not there. I wouldn't say there's nothing to be seen, but there was no way to see it, and I think that that's really beautiful. That all of this hard work, I'm getting that your hard work has paid off, but the payment that you're receiving in the form of this deeper, more intuitive, you have some soul work to do, is a success. It's not a failure at all. So we're going to ask for some clarification on these things. I'd like to know maybe why this is coming now. An inverted Ten of Wands. Okay, well, this is coming now because I think in some way either space has been created in your life, some either sense of obligation or an actual tangible obligation has lifted somewhat, or you are casting it off. So either the world has stepped in and done this for you, or you're kind of stepping in and doing it for yourself. And maybe you haven't seen the results of that yet, but maybe that's where part of this inward looking feeling and this sadness is coming. I think you're saying there's something here that isn't right for me anymore, or there's a compromise that was made in trying to achieve all of these, you know, beautiful Queen of Wands goals and visions, that, you know, no, I'm just like, there's a no here. I think maybe this is coming more from you. There's just, no, I'm not ready for this, but like I'm not here for it anymore. I'd like to know more about maybe what part of your life that this is coming out of right now. What parts of your life are like really fully realized and ready for some change. 5 of Pentacles inverted. And the Empress inverted. Okay. So you've given so much to these pursuits of yours, whatever they are. And some part, I won't say all of it at all, because I see a lot of the Sun in this Queen of Wands, a lot of self fulfillment and truth, and like this is a really very grounded pursuit that you've taken on here. But there was part of it, there is an underlying sense of fear that if I don't have this, who am I? What do I have? No one will take care of me. I see that a lot here. No one will take care of me. I have to do this on my own. I have to do this for myself. And if I don't, I'm going to live in a state of deprivation and desperation. And as a result, I think there's some part of that this Empress inverted really seems related to this Queen of Cups, where there's something that you've given up or given into. It's just not reciprocal. Like you're very, you feel very regal, you feel very loving, you feel very in possession of yourself. But there's a price that's being paid here in your hand. And there's some confusion. It's almost like you think that the price that you're paying is part of what makes this such an honorable pursuit. There's a little bit of martyrdom going on here. So maybe that was the bargain you made. I think you're ready to make a lot fewer compromises in pursuing this endeavor. So you're making a choice. And I don't know if it's as black and white as you think it is. It's almost like you're so afraid to even approach what's happening here in your heart, how you really feel about this, where these insecurities that might have driven some of these really impressive accomplishments and possessions might have been coming from, that you're making it very black and white. But it's not actually black and white. This reminds me of a career choice, a moment in my life where I thought that the reason I was so unhappy at work meant that I needed to completely change my field of work, and it wasn't the case. What needed to change were the circumstances in my life that were impacting my work, and also the environment and the relationships that I had at work, and the way I was allowing myself to be treated, and the culture that was existing in that environment, but also being perpetuated by that environment. Those were the things that needed to change. So I'm getting a sense here that it's not that you need a whole new, you don't need to reinvent the wheel, you don't need a whole new dream here. You just need to really drop in and do some talking with yourself, with this Queen of Cups and these Two of Swords, and this Empress who's like quite prepared to come back up around here and really let go of this sense of loss, right? This sense of insecurity, this scarcity mindset, and say no, there is no scarcity here, and I love what I've built for myself, but I don't need a new home, but I think maybe how I think about home, how I think about my place in this home, and maybe throw up a new coat of paint. And I think when we think of those surface level changes, we think that it's Band-Aid or lipstick on a pig, but I'm getting that no, like a new coat of paint is exactly what you need. When I painted this room, I was like, what have I done with this yellow? It might take time to get used to invading your own space with a new vision for how it's going to look in the morning when you wake up inside of it. But I did get used to the yellow, and now I love it. So, yeah. I'm going to ask for some clarification on this Queen of Cups. Oh! Jumped right out. Inverted Three of Swords. So, again, yeah, I feel like you did what you had to do. You did what you had to do to deal with these feelings of loss and of insecurity, right? I don't think it's fair to tell people that, oh, you just have to go out there as if everything's going to work in your favor and you have nothing to worry about. No, sometimes we need to prove to ourselves that that's the case by shoring up our resources, proving to ourselves that we can achieve what we believe in. But I feel a real sense of arrival here. You've arrived somewhere, and I just pulled Justice inverted. That's you guys right there. So I see a real arrival here of your truest self, not what you've had to become, not what you've had to show to the world and put forward to be respected. And you know, we all have that face, right? Those different faces, different hats that we put on. But you know, the bill has arrived to been paid. You were able to put some hurt, some pain, some fear to the side and say, you know, I get where you're coming from, but I need to move on with my life right now. I need to focus on getting to a place where I can have the confidence and the experience and the knowledge to revisit this later. But maybe there is a hope that you just wouldn't have to do that part. I feel like you tried to get away with it a bit. Say, you know, no, I'm gonna have that family. I'm gonna have that career. I'm gonna have that moment in my life where I'm not gonna have to worry anymore. And I'm sorry, but that's not happening here, and that just doesn't happen. Period. But it's very clear that no, it's time. It's time for you and you to be together in on this, and we don't have to press pause. We don't have to go right back to the drawing board, but we do have to ask ourselves some questions. So what kinds of questions would we like to ask ourselves? What would like to be able to come up to the surface right now? There's a figure in your life that holds a lot of authority and weight over you that you're ready to move on from. This could be an actual person. It's the Emperor inverted. This could be an actual person. But it could also just be an idea, you know. Our society gives us so many ideas about what is possible, who we are, what our roles are, and just asked for a little bit of clarity here and got the inverted Four of Swords. Someone's telling you stop. Someone's telling you that's far enough. That's where you stop. That's where you belong. Someone's boxing you in. You're not having it. The Magician. You're not having it. And to create boundaries around this person, we have Six of Pentacles, generosity. You're going to have to be so generous to yourself because someone very prominent in your life is going to be doing the opposite, to be honest. Someone else is saying no. Someone else is saying you're being greedy. You want too much. You're taking up too much space. That belongs to me. You're being seen as infringing on their boundaries just by wanting to actually set more appropriate boundaries for yourself. So we're not going to let them do that. And it's interesting. So we have these two pages, Page of Pentacles inverted and Page of Wands upright. Unlikely companion. I'm getting unlikely companions here. Someone else is coming into your life, or an idea or a pursuit, a hobby. Something's going to strike you and you're going to be like, I think this is for me. And it's not going to seem right. You're going to be like, really? Me? Again, because you're internalizing this no and this you stay in your place. I think something's coming. 3 of Cups and Ace of Wands inverted. Interesting. Someone's coming it's very community based. And you're going to feel like a fish out of water with this Ace of Wands inverted. You're going to feel like these people know something that you don't. And they're going to seem like experts in the field. But they're going to welcome you and they're going to see you as one of your own and they're going to love you. And I feel like you're going to fight that. I feel like it's going to make you very uncomfortable. And you might think it's because you're shy or because, you know, you might have thoughts like, oh, these people, is this really for me? And you're going to have weird sort of like, you're going to be trying to manipulate yourself back into your comfort zone. But they see you. They see you. Even if it's reading a novel that was from 100 years ago and this person is long dead, they're going to see you when you pick up that book and you hit that line. You know, when you hit that line and that feeling comes over you. So I think even maybe you're the one turning this Ace of Wands upside down, but I feel like it is also just reflective of the reality of how unfamiliar and undeveloped. And I think you're not really used to feeling undeveloped as a person in your pursuits. This Queen of Cups, you know, that came out first with this Queen of Wands inverted. Yeah, you're in uncharted waters. That's the name of this reading. Uncharted waters. So let's get some advice about how we're going to get our little boat through this journey. So we have the Queen of Swords inverted, the Knight of Swords, and the Hierophant. I see this Hierophant as this Page of Wands and this 3 of Cups. Again, someone's coming into your life as a mentor, or there's a body of work. There's a body of work, a mode of thought. There is an established institution outside of your norm that's waiting for you. But you're going to have to act quickly on this. Like these feelings of like, oh, like, no, you don't have time for that. And I really don't want to see you backslide. I don't want to see you backsliding into your comfort zone with that Page of Pentacles coming along to say, what about those 5 of Pentacles? Don't you remember why we do everything? It's because everything's going to go wrong. Everything's going to go bad. You need to be careful. You need to be safe. You need to stick with what you know. Stick with what you know. That's what's worked for us in the past. Just keep hammering away at whatever we've been working on. And like, if we feel like we're hitting a wall, well, that's just because you're not trying hard enough. No, 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 no. That's the boundary we're going to set with this Knight of Swords. So you're going to have to take some decisive actions that make you feel really uncomfortable, and you're going to have to do them quickly. But then I feel like you're going to get, and you are going to kind of be this Queen of Swords inverted, like you are going to even be kind of violating your own boundaries here. So I want to make sure that we do something. Yes, we have okay. So we have the Queen of Pentacles coming in to say it's okay. It's okay. We're not going to totally, again, this isn't a complete reinvention. There is going to be an opportunity to ground yourself in what makes you feel comfortable. The Hanged Man. So what I'm getting here is act and then retreat. Maybe this is a 1 step forward, 2 steps back situation. You are permitted rest. You are permitted suspension. But you are going to have those moments, those Queen of Swords, inverted Knight of Swords moments, where you're going to have to, this is like a death by, I feel like what's been happening is your sense of self has been eroded by that death of 1,000 cuts. And your victory is going to look exactly the same way. You're going to fight back with that attack of 1,000 cuts. Except it feels more like actually just like 5 very well timed maneuvers. But that incremental, it's the incremental nature of it that I think is resonating here, and that you're more than welcome. You are so invited and so held to rest between, you know, these moments you're going to have pushing yourself out. And don't get caught up. Don't get caught up in it too much. Don't get caught up in the remember that in between, we're not spending that in between time racking ourselves with doubt and negative self-talk. With this Seven of Cups inverted, those moments are for rest. Those moments are for recuperation, for balance, for self-love. They're not for doubt and all of those things that are going to flood in. We're taking moments between actions to recenter and reground ourselves in what we know we're capable of and how proud we are of ourselves for how long that we've come on this journey. We're not there to think of all the things that are going to go wrong, or even all of the things that we could do next, actually. I think it's also saying don't even dream too hard. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't go, okay, I'm going to, in the next 3 months be working on this, or I made a big submission, or, sometimes when we do things, we're just going to have to wait to see what the result is. Don't get too much further ahead than the next reaction that you're going to get back from the world. Be prepared to adapt your vision as it progresses. So certainly stay open-minded, but no brainstorming, 20 steps ahead of your critical path. And I just want one card for you. Oh, I was like, I want something to leave this with. The Star. This is going to be so regenerative. So again, I think that's why we had that Queen of Pentacles Hanged Man swoop in to save the day against that inverted Queen of Swords and Knight of Swords, because this is a process of love. And she's reminding me, even just looking at her, of the Queen of Cups back here. The Star and the Queen of Cups. These are two beautiful women. The Queen of Cups, of course, in my deck has her breasts bared. In the Star, she's entirely nude. She has this beautiful, flowing, soft, curly hair. The wind is picking up. The water. You're both by the shore. It's a beautiful time. So, you might have to do some difficult things, but ultimately, this is a luxurious chance to see what else is coming for you. So that's your reading, Libra. Thank you so much for joining me today.